Hey guys, Christina here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am working on my 7 Deadly Sins series once again. I know I haven't worked on that for a very long time now, and it's a shame because it's a series that's quite popular on my channel, and I feel like a lot of people enjoy watching the videos and get excited in the comment section, and I honest to God have no idea why I stopped working on it. I just kind of forgot about it and started doing other things, and I was sitting last week thinking about what I want to do, what I want to draw, because I'm kind of trying to pre-record some videos because I'm going back to uni soon, so I want to be able to have a stash of videos that I can put up in case I'm too busy one week to actually film something. So I was wondering what to do, and then it kind of hit me that I haven't completed my 7 Deadly Sins series. So I went back and I looked at the sins that I've already used, and I came to the conclusion that the only two that I can think of that I haven't done are pride and greed, and I just happened to have an idea for greed first, so I decided to go with that. But because I only have one sin left, I only have pride left, as I said, and I don't necessarily have a good idea as to what I want to do with that one. I was thinking it can be fun if you guys have some suggestions for sins. Anything goes, really. Well, try not to make it too brutal because I know there are like younger people watching the video, so I don't want to have to draw anything that might be offensive to someone or might be too much. And another thing that I kind of want to ask is please summarize your sin in one word, because I tend to include like the name of the sin in the piece somewhere. It's usually either as a tattoo or as a like writing on the coffin. So it will be quite nice if it's just one word that I can add in the piece. And I'll be very interested to see what you guys might come up with. I have a few ideas of my own, but I think asking you first will make things a bit more interesting, and will get you excited about the series. So yeah, let's see what we can come up with, because I can't wait to produce more pieces on that topic, but I'm just stuck for ideas for Pride. So I'm going to think of something eventually, but I just don't know what I want to go with for that one. But let's focus on greed for now, because that's what I'm working on in this video. So I wanted to work on greed in a bit of a, I don't know how to say it, but maybe subtle way would be appropriate to say. I didn't want to do anything over the top, anything too dramatic. I wanted to include jewelry, but not like an insane amount of jewelry, even though like that's an insane amount of jewelry for me. I don't wear jewelry like ever. And well, very rarely anyway. But I wanted to include jewelry and furs and things like that. They're kind of associated with leading a luxurious lifestyle, type of thing. And I decided to keep the jewelry to emeralds, kind of. That was the stone that inspired me, and I started building my color palette from that as well, because I knew I was going to use greens for this piece. I started building up my color palette from that. So initially my first thought was, well, if I'm gonna have emeralds, it will be very nice if my character is a redhead, because the color of her hair is gonna work very well with the jewels. But then I started thinking about the background of the piece, because I need a solid layer of color right behind the character, and then I need another solid layer of color behind the coffin, kind of in the corners. And when you put the colors together, colors that go well with that ginger in her hair and with that green in her crown, I kind of ended up with some clown-like combinations, and it didn't look particularly expensive and it didn't look particularly chic. So I decided to abandon the redhead idea, unfortunately, which made me very, very sad because I was really excited for her hair. But I decided to abandon that idea for now. And I went with red for the immediate background behind the character, and then I just repeated that color combination that I used for the emeralds in the corners of the artwork. And I just used the normal browns that I've been using for all the coffins that are part of this series. By the way, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen any of the pieces that I'm talking about, I do have a playlist that I'm going to link in the description of this video, and that includes all of my 7 Deadly Sins videos in it. So you can go and watch what I've done in the past and gain a better of this understanding of what I'm talking about. So yes, this is what I did for the colors. And also another thing, maybe the only thing that I'm actually unhappy with in this piece, is the way I included the name of the sin. I usually include it as a tattoo or as writing on the lid of the coffin, and this time I decided to include it as a writing on the lid of the coffin once again. And in my head it looked very nice. The way I was imagining it's going to turn out was completely different from what it actually turned out to be. And that's just some bad planning on my part. I think because I haven't used markers for a long time now, I kind of forgot how they work. So I was imagining how cool this sign's gonna be if I do it in watercolors, but then I was working on marker paper with markers and it's like, oh yeah, that's not quite gonna work out the way I imagined it to. But anyway, I can live with it, it's okay. Also, another thing that I was kind of wondering about while I was working on this was whether I wanted to keep the jewelry gold or silver, and I couldn't make up my mind. And I was like, you know what? She's greedy. She wouldn't care. She would wear both. So I decided to mix metals and add silver and gold details to the piece. And they don't look amazing on cameras because I'm filming straight above the piece, but if you see the piece in real life and you start tilting it to the left or to the right, or if you just look at it from different angles, you can definitely see the shimmer, and it looks really pretty, and I really, really like it. Another thing that I added to this piece was this white fur around her, which at this point maybe doesn't look like fur to you, but I use the same technique that I used in an old video where I drew a polar bear. I believe it was a video that I did for the YouTube Artist Collective, obviously unofficial entry because they don't even know I exist. But I think the team back then was Ice Fantasy, and I drew this polar bear. One of my characters was a polar bear, and what I did with the fur was I left the fur till the very end, so all the background and stuff were done, and I added some soft shading to the fur with some really pale Copic markers that I have, and then I went with a really tiny detail brush and my white Winsor & Newton ink, and I just added some little hairs around the edge of that fur, and it looks so real. Like in real life, when you look at it, it actually looks like fur, and you can't even tell that it's a detail that's been added after. It's very weird, and I really love doing that with furs. So I'm very happy that I went with white fur for this piece, and I think it really helps the whole piece kind of coming together, having this like really pale character because she's blonde as well, and then these really bright contrasting colors around her. I really like the way it turned out. So that's pretty much all that I did for this piece. I feel like it's been an incredibly long video for an art piece that might have not I feel like I didn't have enough things to say for the length of this video. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this and give me suggestions for future sin related videos. I can't wait to hear what you're gonna come up with, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.